Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast Battle Report. Today we have the Astra Militarum versus the Dark Eldar. 1500 points, prepping for Astronomicon Toronto. So 1500 points of AstraMilitarum. We have a platoon, 4 infantry squads and a junior officer with grenade launchers and a priest. We have a tank commander with a Plasmacutioner, and then the 2 Plasmacutioners are Eradicator cannon tanks. Then we have a Manticore. Then we have 3 Saber defense platforms with las cannons. Those are 4 drill units. They've been ordered, so today they're being proxied by Sabers with Stubbers. We have a platoon with 4 units of infantry and a junior officer with a priest and all autocannons, 2 armored sentinels with autocannons. That is 1500 points. Warlord trait is
preferred enemy codex of my choice.
So 1500 points to Dark Eldar. We have an Archon. We have a Shard of Anaris Jetseer with 20 Guardians with 2 Bright Lances, 3 Ravagers with triple Lances, 1 Scatterlaser Warwalker. We have 5 Venoms, 1 with Grizzly Trophies, with 5 Warriors with Blasters. In this mission, it is an Astro mission, so some of these missions can be kind of weird. So I'm going to go over the mission. It's Hill 0.25. So it's table quarters, so we're going to deploy an opposite table quarters. We roll for night fight and whatnot as well. The hill in the middle counts as an additional table quarter. So at the end of the game, we get 2 victory points for each table quarter we control, and then there's a variety of different points that go into it, like controlling more table quarters than your enemy, and killing your opponent's warlord, and first blood is a point, and if you kill your opponent's highest point unit, that's a point. So right now we're just waiting for the train to get placed, and then we shall deploy. My warlord trait, of course, is Knight Attacker, because we get to choose them. So we'll be moving on to deployment, and that's that right after this. Stay tuned for a great action-packed report. AstraMilitarum. It's going to take me a while. The Imperial Guard. They decided to go first. My warlord trait is Knight Attacker, so they deployed in a table quarter. We have a whole platoon with autocannons, the 3 separate Saber defense platforms, Manticore, HQ, a Russ unit, and 2 armored sentinels with autocannons. I deployed this way, kind of weird, spread out. It is night fight turn 1 to mitigate damage. So the big blob with the Archon and the Farseer, the Venoms, the Ravagers. I have 2 Venoms in reserve, and I have 1 Warwalker outflanking. For this game, heavy support units are scoring, so they can capture table quarters as long as there's no denial units in an enemy table quarter. Okay, so I will not be stealing the initiative because it is an objective-based game. And it is going on to Rob's turn 1. We'll be back. He'll scout his little guys as well forward. Turn 1 recap. The AstraMilitarum Imperial Guard moved forward through the night. The entire squadron failed their leadership test to split fire, but blew up 1 of the Ravagers for first blood, while the Sentinels failed to do any damage to a Venom. In retaliation, the Dark Eldar Alliance has moved up and has killed 1 of the Eradicators and prevented 1 from shooting, and put 2 hull points on it for next turn. Now we're moving on to turn 2, and we have to see if the AstraMilitarum reserves arrive. So Rob is going to roll for his platoon of guys that's coming in
platoon and junior officer.
And junior officer, that's right.
Platoon.
And they all show up. We had a huge unit come in, first rank, second rank fire, and kill the Farseer and a bunch of Guardians from this unit. Everything else fired over here, and like all these autocannons, fired and killed a couple more of the Guardians on this side, reducing the squad down to the Archon and just a few Guardians. A lot of shooting from both Lehman Russes, and the Manticore took out the 1 Ravager finally, and put 1 hull point on that Ravager. Other than that, the Sentinels failed to do anything to any of the Venoms, and now I get to roll for my reserves. I have 2 units with Venoms to come in, One of them arrives, and I have the outflanking Warwalkers, and they do not show up. So we'll be back right after this. Will I be able to come back from it? The Dark Eldar turn 2. We had Venoms show up, and a bunch of Cabalites exit their rides to try and put some pressure. The snap-shooting Ravager failed to do any damage to the command tank, but I did blow up the last Eradicator, did eliminate him. I killed this small command squad from the large blob unit with my Venom Fire, and I put 1 hull point on this Armored Sentinel. This guy here made like 7 armor saves from poisoned weaponry, and he's got 1 wound. So we're moving on to Imperial Guard, turn 3. AstraMilitarum, turn 3. Lots of shooting, saw lots of dead Dark Eldar. We had both Venoms die, all 5 of the warriors back here die, 1 warrior from that unit die as well. Venom took a hull point and cannot move or shoot. Other than that, everything just moved up, and we're moving on to Eldar, Dark Eldar, turn 3. Does the Venom show up? Yes, and does the Warwalker show up? No. Come to think of it, he should have shown up last turn because I rolled a 3. Dark Eldar turn 3, so I got 1 Venom in from reserve. He showed up over here. The Ravager shot and stopped the command tank from moving or shooting next turn, so you can snap shoot his heavy bolter. The combined shooting of the Bright Lances and the 1 blaster back here took out the Sentinels, and combined shooting from 3 different Venoms and a unit killed about 10 models. In that unit, 9 models? 8 models. Turn 4, AstraMilitarum. We had the huge 40-man blob with autocannons. Shuffle this way and run. Ineffectual, well, not ineffectual shooting, but some shooting. Killed a couple of Guardians. A Manticore killed a couple of Guardians trying to aim for the Venom. And then this big blob moved up, killed 2 with assault grenade launchers, and failed to charge, while the command tank shot and blew smoke after passing his test to do so. And now we're moving...
Failed twice before.
Yeah. We're moving on to Dark Eldar turn 4, and the Warwalker shows up from reserve. We'll see what flank he shows up on after. The Warwalker tried to show up right here and forced all 3 of the Saber defense platforms to fire at him before blowing him up. Or Rob was risking losing his Manticore because I passed some good saves. In shooting phase, I was able to knock out the tank commander. He blew up, killing the 3 Cabalites behind him. And then I focused fire with 3 different Venoms, a lot of firepower, the entire unit of Guardians, the Archon with grenades into this big unit, and then charged in, and I've succeeded in dwindling the fearless blob down thanks to that 1 little priest to a handful of models left, 8 models to be exact. So that really turned this flank for me. And now we're moving on to Imperial Guard turn 5. Remember, to win the game, it is table quarters, and there's 5 table quarters. One of them is this big hill. So we'll be back right after this. Big blob moved into this quadrant. Rest of the army shuffled. Manticore missed the Venom with 1 hull point. In combat, we killed the sergeants, and there's now 4 guys left with their priest fighting the Archon and the large blob unit. Now moving on to Dark Eldar, turn 5. Could be the end of the game. Stay tuned. Turn 5, Dark Eldar. So I did some maneuvering. I got on the hill to claim the hill with that squad back there. I moved this unit out to contest this table quarter. I moved this unit out of their Venom to take that table quarter. And I boosted the Ravager for later in the turns. I still wasn't able to kill a Saber platform with a Venom. And I focused fire a lot on this unit and killed quite a few of the models in that blob. And then in combat, the priest finally got a battle hymn off to reroll saves, passed all his saves against the Archon in a challenge, and knocked out the Archon Shadow Field save. Other than that, it was a big slap fight. Nothing really happened, but I passed my morale save. So they're still holding true, singing hymns to the Emperor. So now it is turn 5. We shall see if it continues. Rob is going to roll to see if it does. And the game goes on? No, it doesn't. No. That's game. Rob, any last words?
Good game. I got to admit, what is it? Love getting out here and throwing the templates around. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, lots of templates this game. This game was incredibly tight. I deployed far back because I knew that there was eradicators and all that heavy 5 hours was going to destroy me. I was very lucky I was able to deal with that big blob unit, just focusing on it on that one turn. Had the game gone on, it would have been really interesting to see if that unit would have been able to deal with the Archon. If they killed the Archon, they would have made the Guardians break almost no problem with the Preacher and his hymns. And then it would have been more of a battle to who could capture this, with a little command squad coming up to contest. If that unit could have gotten destroyed by the big blob unit that was on this side, and really depends on if the interceptors and autocannons could take out the venoms that were the ones that could put pressure on the small units later in the game. All in all, a very, very tight game. My first game against the new AstraMilitarum. Very strong units, very strong blob infantry units, which I believe in 7th are going to be absolutely pivotal to the game itself. Once again, Rob, thanks a lot. This was in the Stratford Gaming Union, so down in Pete's basement. So having a lot of fun, and thanks a lot for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share the videos. I'm glad you were very patiently awaiting the next battle reports. This is Skari, your grateful host, and of course, stay tuned for the Tactical Corner. Thanks for tuning in to another Tactical Corner. So, deployment was key this game. Thanks to the way I deployed, I really mitigated a lot of the damage that the AstraMilitarum was going to throw my way, using line of sight blocking, getting out of the range of his guns, and really not being afraid to spread out my infantry units 2 inches to prevent blasts from really taking a heavy toll on the army. Key pivotal point in the game was me able to take on that 40-man blob with the Archon and the remnants of the Guardian squad. That really turned the tide of the game on that flank, meaning that by the end of the game I was able to start focusing on the main AstraMilitarum force, and ended up really putting a lot of pressure on the enemy. It just shows, stay true till the end. Thanks for listening.